Listen to me, and listen closely. I need you to hear this in your soul. The very moment you stop that exhausting chase, the moment you finally truly give yourself space to breathe, that is the moment you begin to rise. When you take a deliberate step back from the noise, from the demands, from the people who drain you, they will feel your absence. You don't need to be everywhere, a frantic blur of motion, constantly proving your worth to people who will never see it anyway. No, you just need to exist powerfully and quietly in your truth. Here's the thing, and I want you to let this sink in. When you're not always around, when you're not just a constant, predictable presence, that's when people start to wake up. That's when they finally begin to realize how much they've taken you, your energy, your light, completely for granted. Suddenly, without you there to fill every silence, to solve every problem, your value doesn't just become clear, it skyrockets. Your time is your most precious asset, the one true currency of your life. It's the one thing you can never, ever get back. Every single second that ticks by, every moment you spend is a piece of your life that is gone forever. Yet look around you. So many people give it away, like it's worthless, like loose change. The way people treat your time is a direct mirror reflecting how you treat it. If you're always available, always the first to say yes, bending over backward until your own spine feels like it might snap, what message does that send? They'll assume your time isn't valuable. They'll think you have nothing better to do than to be the supporting character in their story, catering to their every whim. But that is not who you are. Your time is priceless, a sacred treasure, and it is time right now, today, to start treating it that way. When you give your time away too freely, you are the one teaching people to expect it. You show them that you'll always be there, a reliable fixture, even if they give you absolutely nothing in return. Now, this isn't because they are all bad people. It's because you, without ever meaning to, have set the standard. You've made it far too easy for them to interrupt your day, to pull you into the vortex of their problems, or to ask for endless favors without a single thought for your own needs, your own dreams. This is precisely why boundaries are absolutely essential. They are not walls to keep people out. They are the very foundation of your self-respect. Without them, you're sending out an open invitation for others to walk all over you, to take advantage of your good heart. It's so tempting, isn't it, to always be the helper because it feels good to be needed. But I need you to ask yourself this question, and be brutally honest. If you are constantly giving every last drop of your time to everyone else, what is left for you? What happens to your dreams, your goals, your precious peace of mind? They get pushed to the side, they get forgotten, and before you know it, you're completely drained, an empty vessel, wondering why you feel so profoundly unappreciated. Here is a truth you must embrace. Not everyone deserves access to you. Your time is a privilege, not a guarantee for anyone who demands it. It is more than okay to say no. In fact, it's not just okay, it is absolutely necessary for your survival and your growth. Saying no doesn't make you selfish, it makes you wise. It's a declaration that shows you respect yourself and your time enough to prioritize your own needs. When you stop pouring your precious time into people and situations that don't value it, you create a beautiful, powerful space. And into that space, you attract relationships and opportunities that truly match your worth. Take a moment right now, pause and think about the people you give your time to. Is it a two-way street? Are they giving back to you, investing in you in the same way? Or are they just taking and taking and taking, leaving you feeling hollow and empty? It is not wrong to want balance. It is not wrong to expect your energy to be reciprocated. If someone doesn't value your time, they simply do not value you. So why are you still giving them unfiltered access to your most precious resource? When you finally start valuing your time, people notice. The shift is undeniable. They realize they can't just expect you to drop everything for them anymore. They begin to respect your boundaries, and in turn, they respect you more. They become more mindful, more intentional, and they will treasure the moments they get with you. Your absence will force them to finally appreciate your presence. But this isn't just about your relationships with other people. This is about the most important relationship you will ever have, the one you have with yourself. When you stop giving away your time so carelessly, you can reclaim it for the things that truly matter to you. You can invest it in your growth, in your passions, in your own happiness. You can use that reclaimed time to build a life that you genuinely love, instead of spending every waking moment trying to please everyone else. Think of your time like a bank account. Every second you spend is a withdrawal. If you keep giving it away without thinking, you'll end up overdrawn with absolutely nothing left to give to yourself or anyone else. But when you start being intentional, when you become the deliberate architect of your days, you'll feel more in control, more powerful than ever before. You'll have more energy, more focus, and more joy. Don't you dare be afraid to set boundaries or to disappoint people who have come to expect too much from you. Your life isn't about meeting everyone else's expectations. It's about fulfilling your own magnificent potential. The right people, the ones who truly belong in your life, will respect your need for space. And those who don't, they were never truly there for you in the first place. Valuing your time doesn't mean you have to cut everyone off or become selfish. It means being thoughtful. It means finally understanding who deserves your time and who doesn't. It means choosing with fierce intention what aligns with your deepest values and your highest goals. So say yes to the things that light you up, and say a firm, unapologetic no to the things that don't. I know this transformation won't happen overnight. You've likely spent years, maybe even decades, giving your time away without a second thought. Breaking that cycle will take conscious effort, and I promise you, it will feel uncomfortable at first. Why? Because you've been conditioned by the world to prioritize everyone else over yourself. But listen to me now. Every single time you say no to something that doesn't serve you, you are saying a resounding yes to yourself. And that is incredibly powerful. Some people in your life might not understand it right away. They may call you selfish. They might even accuse you of changing. Let them. Do not let their reactions shake you from your path. Change is a beautiful, natural part of growth, and those who truly, genuinely care about you will eventually see the incredible value in your choices. They'll realize you're not just reclaiming your time, you are reclaiming your power. Remember this. Your time isn't just about the hours ticking by on a clock. It's about your energy, your focus, your precious attention. Even if you are physically present somewhere, if your mind and your heart are elsewhere, you're not truly giving your time. That's why it is so essential to be intentional about where you direct your life force. Stop spreading yourself so thin you become transparent. Instead, invest deeply in the people and the activities that inspire you, that make you feel truly alive, that align with the person you are becoming and the goals you are destined to achieve. When you finally start treating your time as the precious, sacred resource it is, you will notice a profound shift, not just in how others treat you, but in how you see and treat yourself. You'll feel more confident, more in control, and more deeply fulfilled. Instead of feeling like a victim of other people's endless demands, you'll finally feel like the architect of your own life. This is your time, not your parents' time, not your boss's time, not your partner's time. This is your one, singular, precious shot at this thing called life. So I have to ask you, why would you waste a single moment of it on people who are blind to your worth? Why would you give it away to those who treat it like it has no value? You are here to use this time to build the life you dream of, to pursue the passions that set your soul on fire. and to grow into the magnificent person you were always meant to be. Because in the end, your time isn't just a resource you manage. It's a living, breathing reflection of your self-worth. Treat it with the reverence and the respect it truly deserves. There is something profoundly powerful that happens when you decide to step away, when you intentionally put space between yourself and the people or the situations that once consumed every ounce of your energy. I need you to understand, this is not about punishing anyone. This is not about seeking revenge or trying to win some silent battle. This is about creating clarity. It's like stepping out of a chaotic, noisy room into the calm of the night air, where you can finally hear yourself think. When you step back, you create a void, and that void, that sudden silence where your energy used to be, forces others to finally confront your absence. In that echoing absence, they begin to realize what they have so carelessly taken for granted. They start to see the true impact you had, the light you brought, the countless small things they never bothered to appreciate, and the gaping space you filled that they never, ever fully acknowledged. Distance doesn't just reveal your value to them, it also teaches you undeniable truths about them. When you step back, you give people the chance to sit with themselves and reflect on how they truly treated you. Were they dismissive of your ideas? Did they constantly overlook your contributions, making you feel invisible? Did they operate under the dangerous assumption that you would always be there, no matter what? These realizations become painfully stark when your presence is no longer a guarantee. What they once ignored or treated so lightly becomes glaringly, unavoidably obvious, and that is when a deep sense of regret often begins to follow. They finally start to understand that your presence was never just a given, it was a gift. When you are always available, always giving, always fixing, people can become complacent. It's not always because they don't care. It's a flaw in human nature to take for granted what feels constant and predictable, like the sun rising in the morning. But when that sun doesn't rise, even for a brief moment, everything changes. That's the moment they start to notice the silence. They start to feel the chill of the void, and they truly begin to miss you. Distance has a magical way of amplifying your worth in ways that constant presence never, ever could. Again, let me be clear. This is not about playing games or manipulating emotions. This is about an act of profound self-respect. It's about respecting yourself enough to walk away and allowing others the opportunity to learn how to respect you too. Sometimes, stepping back is absolutely necessary for your own peace of mind, to recharge your soul, to remember who you are, and to focus on yourself. And in doing so, you also give others the chance to finally truly see you. And they will see you. They'll remember the love you gave so freely, the unwavering support you offered when no one else would, and the silent sacrifices you made that they never acknowledged. They will recognize the sheer volume of energy you poured into them, and they will feel the undeniable weight of your absence. The beauty of creating distance is that it completely shifts the dynamic. When you're always there, people can begin to assume you'll always be there. They may start to feel entitled to your time, your energy, your very essence. But when you step back, you disrupt that destructive pattern. You remind them, without saying a word, that your presence is a choice, not a given. You show them that your time and your attention are privileges, not guarantees. And in doing so, you elevate your worth in their eyes, and more importantly, in your own. Now, creating this distance is not always easy, especially when you care deeply about someone. It can feel counterintuitive, unnatural, even deeply painful to step back from people you love or from situations you've invested so much of your heart into. But listen to me. Sometimes, the most loving thing you can do, for yourself and for them, is to create that space. Because in that space, true growth happens. You grow by reclaiming your energy and pouring it back into your own life. And they grow by finally learning to appreciate you in ways they simply could not before. Distance also acts as a powerful filter. It has a way of revealing who genuinely values you and who was just there for convenience. When you step back, pay close attention to how people respond. Do they reach out? Do they make a real, sustained effort to stay connected, to understand your need for space? Or do they just let the distance grow, revealing that their interest in you was always conditional, always just on the surface? It's a hard truth to swallow, but it is a truth worth knowing. The people who are meant for you, the ones who truly care, will notice your absence, and they will work to bridge that gap. And those who don't, they were never as invested as you thought they were. Letting people miss you teaches them, and you, an important lesson: your value doesn't diminish just because you're not always present. If anything, it grows. People begin to feel the weight of your presence in its absence. They start to notice all the contributions you made, the unique and irreplaceable role you played in their lives. And when they finally realize it, they are often struck by the profound depth of what they took for granted. Stepping back also gives you a new perspective, like climbing a mountain and seeing the entire landscape for the first time. When you're too close to a person or a toxic situation, it's so easy to ignore the red flags, to make excuses for behavior that is not good for you, or to hold on to unrealistic hopes for change. Distance provides that essential clarity. It helps you see things exactly as they are, not as you wish they were. You finally gain the space you need to assess your relationships and decide if they are truly worth continuing to invest your precious life force in. Now, not everyone will understand or appreciate your need for space. Some might react with confusion, anger, or frustration, especially if they're used to having constant, unlimited access to you. But hear me on this. That is their issue to handle, not yours. Choosing to step back isn't about them. It is 100% about you. It's about protecting your peace, honoring your time, and prioritizing your well-being above all else. If someone cannot respect that, it is a reflection of their limitations, not yours. Sometimes this distance can lead to stronger, more resilient relationships. When people recognize your worth in your absence, they may return with a deeper appreciation and a newfound respect. They will value what you bring to the table and be far more committed to honoring it. But even if they don't, even if that space becomes permanent and the silence stretches on forever, you will know in your heart that you made the right decision for you. Because relationships that are meant to last will withstand the distance, while those that aren't will naturally fade away as they should. Remember, stepping back is not about proving a point or teaching someone a lesson they may never learn. It is about recognizing your own value and knowing that it doesn't depend on how much you give or how often you are around. Your worth comes from who you are, and that doesn't change just because you've created some space for yourself to breathe. Distance doesn't reduce your value, it amplifies it. By creating this space, you also allow yourself to grow. When you're not pouring all your energy into others, you can finally redirect it back toward yourself. You can focus on your passions, your goals, and your personal well-being. This is a sacred time for reflection, for healing, and for a profound transformation. And as you grow, your confidence and your alignment with your purpose will skyrocket, making you even more magnetic to the right people and the right opportunities. It's a timeless truth. People often don't realize what they have until it's gone. When you're no longer there to answer every call, solve every problem, or fill every uncomfortable silence, they will start to feel that void. They will notice all the ways you made their lives better, and they will begin to value you more deeply than ever before. Creating distance isn't about punishing anyone, it's about protecting yourself. It's about understanding that your time and your energy are valuable commodities, and not everyone deserves unlimited access to them. Setting boundaries shows others how to treat you and serves as a powerful reminder that your presence is a privilege, not an entitlement. Ultimately, creating distance is one of the most empowering steps you can possibly take for yourself. It sends a clear, undeniable message to the world that you refuse to be overlooked, undervalued, or taken for granted any longer. It is a reminder to others, and most importantly to yourself, that you deserve respect, appreciation, and unconditional love. And when they finally recognize what they've lost, when they truly feel the vast empty space you left behind, they will finally understand just how much you truly matter. And this all begins with self-respect. It is the absolute foundation of who you are and everything you strive to become. It is the quiet yet powerful force that shapes how you carry yourself, how you interact with the world, and how the world responds to you. This isn't something you can get from anyone else. It is something you must build within yourself, a personal currency that grows stronger every single time you choose to honor it. Unlike money or material wealth, your self-respect can never be taken from you unless you willingly give it away. When you possess true self-respect, you set a higher standard for your entire life. You refuse to settle for less than you deserve, whether it's in your relationships, your career, or your personal achievements. You establish boundaries, not out of pride or arrogance, but because you finally recognize your own profound worth. And when you do this, others can't help but take notice. They observe how you treat yourself, and from that, they learn how they are expected to treat you in return. Respect always begins with you. Without a foundation of self-respect, you risk falling into toxic patterns of exploitation, manipulation, and mistreatment. You might find yourself tolerating behaviors and situations that slowly erode your dignity, all because deep down, you don't believe you are worthy of more. You may find yourself saying yes when your entire being is screaming no, accepting scraps of affection when you deserve a feast of love, and staying silent when your voice desperately needs to be heard. But the very moment you choose to prioritize your own self-respect, everything shifts. You begin to see yourself through a clear, undistorted lens, one that reflects your inherent God-given value instead of the distorted, broken image that others may have tried to impose on you. Self-respect does not mean you have to strive for perfection or be free of mistakes. Far from it. It means embracing your imperfections, owning your scars, and loving them as part of your story rather than letting them define you. It's about standing firm in your truth, even when your voice shakes, and refusing to compromise your integrity for anyone's approval or acceptance. Your worth is not, and never will be, defined by external validation. It is defined by your own unshakable belief in your own value. When you truly respect yourself, you stop pursuing people who fail to see your worth. You stop going out of your way, running yourself ragged, trying to prove yourself to those who will never appreciate you, no matter what you do. You stop engaging in actions that leave you feeling unfulfilled, diminished, and empty. Instead, you shift your focus to creating a life that is in beautiful alignment with your values, your aspirations, and your deepest sense of purpose. You consciously choose to be around people who lift you up, not those who constantly weigh you down. You dedicate your precious energy to pursuits that feed your soul, rather than those that slowly drain it. Self-respect also means holding yourself accountable. It's about owning your choices, your actions, and your life as a whole. While it's easy to blame others or play the victim when things go wrong, genuine self-respect comes from acknowledging your role and committing to your own growth. It's about learning from your mistakes, using those powerful lessons to evolve, and becoming stronger, wiser, and more resilient as a result. When you carry yourself with this kind of self-respect, it physically transforms how you present yourself to the world. Your posture becomes more assured, your voice becomes steadier, and your very presence commands attention without ever demanding it. People can sense when someone respects themselves. It's a silent confidence that speaks louder than any words ever could. And the world naturally, powerfully responds to that energy. Opportunities arise, relationships improve, and you begin to attract experiences that align with your newfound sense of worth. But self-respect isn't just about how others perceive you. It's about how you perceive yourself. It's about looking in the mirror and genuinely appreciating the person looking back at you. It's about knowing that while you are not perfect, you are and always have been more than enough. It's about showing yourself kindness and compassion, especially on the days when you fall short of your own high expectations. Self-respect isn't about being flawless. It is about being radically, beautifully authentic. To build this fortress of self-respect, you must begin by setting boundaries. Boundaries protect your peace, your energy, and your very sense of self. They aren't about shutting people out. They are about ensuring that the people you do let in treat you with the care and respect you deserve. I know setting boundaries can feel uncomfortable, especially if you're not used to asserting yourself, but I promise you this. Each time you say no to something that doesn't serve you, you are saying a powerful yes to yourself. And there is nothing more powerful than that. Another powerful way to cultivate self-respect is by honoring your commitments, both to yourself and to others. When you make a promise, keep it. When you set a goal, pursue it with relentless intention. When you say you'll do something, follow through. Every single time you honor your word, you reinforce your self-respect by proving to yourself and to the world that you are reliable and trustworthy. And trust, after all, is the very foundation of respect. Self-respect also hinges on self-discipline. It's about choosing to do what is necessary, even when it's inconvenient or difficult. Because it aligns with your values and serves your highest good. It's about resisting those fleeting temptations that lead to long-term regrets and instead embracing the actions that support your growth and your goals. It is about making decisions that reflect the incredible person you are striving to become, not the person you have already outgrown. Forgiveness is another essential component of self-respect. Holding on to grudges, resentment, or anger doesn't punish those who have wronged you. It only weighs you down, poisoning your own spirit. Forgiveness isn't about excusing bad behavior or letting others off the hook. It is about freeing yourself from the heavy grip of bitterness so that you can finally move forward. It's a gift you give to yourself, a way of declaring, "My peace matters more than my pain." Practicing self-respect also involves prioritizing radical self-care. This means taking impeccable care of your physical, emotional, and mental well-being. It's about ensuring you get enough rest, nourishing your body with good food, and engaging in activities that bring you pure joy and fulfillment. It's understanding that you simply cannot pour from an empty cup, so you must take the time to refill it unapologetically. Self-care isn't selfish. It is absolutely essential. When you care for yourself, you build the resilience and strength needed to face all of life's challenges and to truly be there to support others. One of the hardest but most transformative aspects of self-respect is the art of letting go. Whether it's letting go of people, situations, or habits that no longer serve your highest good, walking away from the familiar can be incredibly painful, even when you know it's the right choice. But true self-respect means choosing yourself, even when it's the most difficult thing to do. It's about trusting that what you release will make space for something far better, something that truly aligns with the person you are becoming. Self-respect is a lifelong journey, my friend, not a final destination. It's cultivated daily through your choices, your actions, and your mindset. It's not about striving for perfection or having all the answers. It's about showing up for yourself, even and especially when it's hard. It's about holding firm to the unwavering belief in your own worth, regardless of what anyone else thinks. It is about choosing to love and honor yourself, no matter what, because at its very core, self-respect is the most valuable currency you will ever possess. It will carry you further than anything else in this world ever could. Now, let's talk about another kind of power, a force so profound it is often completely underestimated. Let's talk about silence. In a world that is screaming for your attention, a world filled with constant noise, endless distractions, and meaningless chatter, silence stands apart like a mountain peak piercing the clouds. It is a bold, powerful statement. Silence communicates without needing a single explanation or justification, and believe me, it often carries far more weight than the loudest of spoken words. To choose silence is not a sign of weakness or passivity. It is a deliberate, strategic, and deeply powerful act. It conveys a strength, a depth, and a graceful restraint in ways that shouting, arguing, or desperately trying to explain yourself never, ever can. When you choose silence, you demonstrate an unshakable control over your own emotions and your reactions. It shows the world that you are not driven by a frantic need to defend yourself, to prove a point, or to retaliate against those who wrong you. Silence says, with quiet confidence, I am secure in my truth, and I don't need to explain it to you. It is a way of maintaining your position of power without ever engaging in unnecessary, soul-draining conflict. And in doing so, you leave others alone with the echo of their own words and actions, forcing them to confront their own choices without the distraction of your response. Think about a time you were in a heated argument. Every fiber of your being was screaming at you to fight back, to match their volume, to prove them wrong. But what if you didn't? What if, instead, you just held your space? In moments of tension, your silence can be more effective than any argument at diffusing the conflict. Words often just add fuel to the fire, escalating disagreements into full-blown battles. Silence, on the other hand, removes the oxygen that feeds the flames. By refusing to respond to provocation, you deny them the power to control your emotions. You show them that you are grounded, centered, and unshakable. That level of composure is both disarming and deeply intimidating to those who are seeking to provoke a reaction from you. They come to realize that they cannot unsettle you, often leaving them to question themselves instead. Silence also grants you the incredible advantage of clarity. When you are not so focused on speaking, you can truly observe, listen, and take in your surroundings with all your senses. You start to notice the details that others might overlook, the subtle shifts in their tone of voice, that flicker of hesitation in their words, the unspoken tension that hangs heavy in a room. Silence sharpens your awareness like a blade, allowing you to understand what truly lies beneath the surface. And that insight, my friend, is often far more valuable than anything you might have said. There's a timeless saying that actions speak louder than words, and your silence is often the most powerful action you can possibly take. It is a way to demonstrate who you are and what you stand for without ever needing to explain yourself. Your silence says, I don't have to justify myself to you. It declares, I am confident enough to let my actions speak for themselves. And it conveys, most powerfully, I value my peace more than I value winning this argument. These unspoken messages often carry far more weight than any words ever could. In your relationships, your silence can serve as an unbreakable boundary. It's a way of saying, I will not engage with this behavior, without ever resorting to conflict or lengthy, draining explanations. It is a tool for preserving your precious energy and refusing to participate in toxic dynamics that leave you feeling empty. When someone mistreats you, your silence can often deliver a more potent message than any words spoken in anger or hurt. It communicates your disapproval without ever offering them the satisfaction of a reaction. It demonstrates that you will not lower yourself to their level or participate in the toxicity they are trying to create. Your silence is also a profound act of self-respect. It's a way of asserting, I don't need to prove my worth to anyone. It reflects a deep understanding of your own value and a refusal to expend your energy on people or situations that simply do not deserve it. By choosing silence, you are not relinquishing your power, you are conserving it, using it to reinforce your focus and your resolve on what truly matters. In a world where silence is so often misinterpreted as weakness, choosing it is an act of profound strength, and there is an undeniable intrigue in that silence, a mystery that draws others in. By not revealing everything, by not reacting to every single provocation, you maintain an aura of unpredictability. People begin to wonder about your thoughts, your feelings, your next move. This curiosity can shift the entire dynamic in your favor, keeping you in control of the narrative and allowing you to define the terms of your interactions. In that unpredictability lies an undeniable power. This same power applies to the endless, soul-crushing struggle of trying to win someone's attention. That frantic chase can feel like a never-ending battle. You invest your time, your energy, your emotions into simply being noticed, appreciated, or valued, only to find that the harder you try, the less it seems to work. There is a powerful reason for this. Attention that is coerced is never authentic, and relationships built on the desperate need to chase acknowledgement are almost always one-sided and completely unsustainable. The absolute truth is, you should never have to fight for someone's attention. When a connection is genuine, it flows effortlessly, like a river to the sea, without manipulation, without games, and without you ever having to sacrifice your self-worth. When you fight for attention, you're sending a heartbreaking, unspoken message to both yourself and the other person, that you do not believe you're enough just as you are. It is a quiet act of self-doubt, a deeply held belief that you must do more, be more, or perform in some way just to earn someone's care or time. But the truth is, no amount of effort can ever make someone value you if they have already chosen not to. The more you push, the more it drains you, leaving you feeling unfulfilled, resentful, and utterly depleted. True connection is built on a foundation of mutual respect and appreciation. When someone genuinely values you, they recognize your worth without you having to shout it from the rooftops. They make an effort because they want to, not because you've demanded it. Their attention isn't something you need to struggle for. It is freely and joyfully given because they see and cherish your significance in their life. This kind of attention, natural, sincere, and meaningful, is the only kind worth having. By letting go of that desperate fight for attention, you reclaim your personal power. You detach your sense of self-worth from someone else's acknowledgement and begin to focus inward where your true power lies. Instead of trying to prove your value to others, you begin to recognize it deeply within yourself. You invest your energy into pursuits that nourish you, that align with your values, and that contribute to your own beautiful growth. Gradually, you become less concerned with how others perceive you and far more focused on your own opinion of yourself. And this shift, this powerful reclaiming of self, attracts the right kind of attention, the kind that doesn't require you to compromise one single part of who you are. Confidence, authenticity, and self-assurance are inherently magnetic. When you stop chasing external validation and start prioritizing your own well-being, you radiate an energy that draws others in. People notice when you're no longer trying too hard, when you're comfortable in your own skin, and when your primary focus is on your own happiness and progress. And ironically, the very moment you stop forcing someone to see you, you often become completely impossible to ignore. Fighting for attention so often leads to a downward spiral of frustration and resentment. You may find yourself constantly questioning why someone doesn't reciprocate your efforts, why they don't seem to value you, or why they're unwilling to meet you halfway. This imbalance breeds toxicity, turning what could be a relationship into a draining dynamic where one person constantly gives and the other only takes. Letting go of the need to fight for their attention frees you from this exhausting cycle. It allows you to step away from one-sided relationships and create space for connections that are mutual, balanced, and deeply fulfilling. Letting attention come to you naturally doesn't mean you stop caring about relationships. It means you finally understand that meaningful connections can never be forced. It's about trusting that the right people will see your worth without you having to fight for it. This approach fosters relationships that are based on mutual respect and mutual effort, rather than control or manipulation. And when you stop chasing attention, you also gain a crystal clear clarity about the people in your life. You begin to recognize who truly values you and who doesn't, and that awareness empowers you to build healthier, more balanced connections. The people who truly care will make an effort. They'll stay connected, they'll check in on you, and they'll prioritize you without needing constant reminders or grand gestures. Conversely, those who don't value you will naturally drift away, and you must understand that this is okay. This is not a reflection of your worth. It simply means they were not meant to play a significant role in your beautiful life story. So many of us are guilty of this. Fighting for attention often blinds you to the incredible people who are already there for you. When you're fixated on chasing someone who doesn't reciprocate, you risk overlooking the relationships that are solid, supportive, and genuine. You might be taking for granted the people who already see your value because you're too focused on proving it to someone who is determined to be blind. But when you release that desperate need to fight for attention, you can finally turn around and truly appreciate the amazing connections you already have. You can nurture and grow those relationships rather than exhausting your soul chasing something that was never meant for you. Allowing attention to come naturally is a radical act of self-care. It's about protecting your energy and refusing to waste it on people who do not value it. It's about setting boundaries and distancing yourself from relationships that drain you or make you feel small. It is a conscious decision to prioritize your own well-being and to refuse to sacrifice it for the sake of someone else's fleeting approval. By doing so, you create a beautiful, welcoming space for healthier, more fulfilling connections to finally enter your life. Letting go of this need also gives you the ultimate freedom to grow. It allows you to focus on your own path, your own goals, and your own happiness. You finally get to invest in yourself, in your passions, your dreams, and your personal development. And with this growth comes greater confidence, greater self-assurance, and a deeper sense of fulfillment. That growth is magnetic, not just to others, but most importantly to yourself. You begin to see your own value more clearly than ever before, and that clarity becomes a guiding force in every decision you make. It is absolutely crucial that you remember this. Attention is not the same as love. Chasing attention will never, ever equate to building a meaningful relationship. Love is rooted in deep connection, in mutual understanding, and in profound respect. It's about being seen and appreciated for who you are at your core, not for what you can do or how hard you try to gain someone's approval. By letting go of the desperate need to chase attention, you finally open yourself up to the possibility of real love. A love that does not demand you prove your worth or constantly seek validation. Choosing to let attention come to you naturally is a courageous act. It requires you to trust yourself, to trust the process, and to believe that the right people will find their way into your life. It's about letting go of control and embracing the fundamental truth that you are, and always have been, enough just as you are, just Your worth is not determined by someone else's acknowledgement, but by your own unshakable belief in yourself. When you stop chasing attention, you also free yourself from a toxic scarcity mindset. You stop believing that love, connection, or validation are limited resources that you must fight for. Instead, you begin to realize that these things are abundant, and they flow naturally and easily when you live authentically and honor your own worth. This mindset attracts people and opportunities that are in perfect alignment with your values, your goals, and your highest sense of self. Allowing attention to come to you naturally is the ultimate liberation. It removes the crushing pressure to prove yourself, to compete for someone's affection, or to measure your worth by someone else's broken standards. It enables you to focus on what truly matters: your own growth, your own happiness, and the beautiful relationships that truly nourish your soul. And in doing so, you create a life that is not only deeply fulfilling, but also perfectly aligned with who you are and the magnificent person you aspire to become. Listen to me. Hear this with every fiber of your being. You are not here to chase. You were not put on this earth to beg for scraps of attention, to grovel for approval, or to plead for a love that should be freely given. You are not here to shrink, to diminish your light, to make yourself smaller just so you might be noticed or valued by someone else. No. You are here to be chosen, not because you fought for it, not because you won some exhausting competition for recognition, but because your very presence, your authentic soul, naturally commands it. You are here to be chosen because your value is not a question to be answered. It is a statement that speaks for itself. That endless, soul-crushing chase, whether for love, for friendship, or for validation, it stems from a lie. It is a lie whispered into your heart that tells you that you must prove your worth to earn their attention. It is a toxic mindset that chips away at your confidence, grinds down your self-respect, and reduces the sacred potential of human connection into a cold, hollow transaction, rather than a meaningful bond. When you chase, you are screaming to yourself and to the universe that you believe you are incomplete, that your value is conditional, that it depends entirely on their ability to finally see it. In the desperate act of trying to convince others of your worth, you forget the most fundamental truth of your existence. Your value is inherent. It was born with you. It does not need their validation to exist. The truth is, you are already enough. You always have been. Take a deep breath right now and let that truth wash over you. Let it settle into your bones. Feel it in your soul. When you fully, truly, deeply embrace this truth, you finally realize that being chosen has nothing to do with competing for recognition. It's about standing, unshakable and magnificent, in your own authenticity and allowing the right people to find their way to you. Chasing someone always conveys a sense of desperation, and desperation will never earn you respect. When you chase, you find yourself constantly going out of your way, abandoning your own needs to please others, compromising your sacred boundaries, and gradually, painfully, losing touch with who you are. The relentless effort to gain their favor will consume you, leaving your spirit broken, burned out, and drained. But the moment you shift your perspective, the second you decide to let go of that heavy need to chase, you reclaim your peace. You reclaim your dignity. You free yourself from the exhausting, maddening cycle of trying to force something that should naturally, beautifully align with you. Being chosen is not about a relentless, one-sided effort. It is about a mutual, effortless connection that flows from a deep and powerful alignment, not from strain. Being chosen isn't about trying to outshine others in some pathetic competitive game. It is about standing firmly in your own unique, brilliant authenticity and allowing the right people to see and appreciate you for exactly who you truly are. When you chase, you risk projecting a hollow version of yourself, a character shaped and molded to please others, rather than staying rooted in your true, powerful essence. Letting go of the chase allows you to finally, fully embrace your authenticity, your flaws, your strengths, your scars, and everything in between. And it is this raw, unapologetic genuineness that acts as a magnet, drawing in the right people, the right opportunities, and the right relationships. The chase creates a crippling imbalance in any relationship. The person being pursued holds all the power, leaving you in a constant, desperate struggle to prove your worth. This dynamic will always leave you feeling undervalued, invisible, and unappreciated, as though you are the only one fighting to keep the connection afloat. But healthy, real relationships should never feel one-sided. They thrive on mutual effort, mutual respect, and a deep, shared connection. When you stop chasing, you make room for relationships that are balanced and breathtakingly fulfilling, where both people invest equally in each other's happiness and well-being. The chase also has a way of clouding your judgment, of putting blinders on you. You can become so hyper-focused on winning someone over that you completely overlook the blaring red flags, ignore your own screaming needs, and settle for so much less than you deserve. The burning desire to make them choose you can blind you to the cold, hard reality of the situation. By stepping back, by choosing to let go, you gain a crystal-clear perspective. You begin to see people for who they truly are, not just who you desperately hope they could be. Instead of pouring every last drop of your energy into proving your worth to them, you can finally turn inward and evaluate whether they genuinely add any value to your life. When you finally understand, deep in your soul, that you are here to be chosen, not to chase, you start living with a powerful, unshakable intention. You stop wasting your precious energy on people or situations that do not align with your values or your vision for your life. You become fiercely discerning about who you allow into your sacred space, recognizing that your time and your energy are precious resources that deserve to be respected. This monumental mindset shift not only protects your inner peace, but it strengthens your sense of self-worth into an unbreakable fortress. Being chosen means someone values you without needing constant persuasion. They appreciate you for who you are, not for what you can do for them. They make an effort because they truly, genuinely care, not because you've pressured or manipulated or convinced them to. These genuine connections are rare, yes, but they are absolutely worth waiting for. And when you stop chasing, you finally open yourself up to the profound experience of being chosen by someone who truly sees you, who values you, and who cherishes you. Such relationships feel effortless, natural, and more deeply rewarding than you can possibly imagine. Choosing to stop chasing and allowing yourself to be chosen is the ultimate act of self-love. It is a declaration to the universe that you are enough, not because of what you do for others, but simply because of who you are. It is a sacred commitment to honoring your own needs, your own values, and your own boundaries, even if it means walking away from people and situations that no longer serve you. It is the ultimate reminder that the right people will see your worth without ever requiring you to compromise or diminish your magnificent self to be seen. And being chosen doesn't mean you sit back and wait for life to happen to you. It means you fiercely embrace your passions, you relentlessly pursue your own growth, and you live every single day as the absolute best version of yourself. It is about prioritizing your own happiness and your own well-being over the hollow need for external validation. And by focusing on your own journey, you naturally, powerfully draw in the people and the opportunities that are in perfect alignment with your energy and your aspirations. The journey to being chosen begins today. It begins right now. It begins with choosing yourself. It's about recognizing your inherent undeniable worth, setting non-negotiable boundaries, and living in beautiful, powerful alignment with your truth. It means letting go of the chase for good and embracing the profound belief that you are already and always have been enough. You are not here to chase, you never were. Let them feel your absence and watch how everything begins to shift. Your absence will speak louder than your presence ever could. And when they finally painfully realize what they've lost, you will have already grown into someone so powerful, so radiant, so whole, that they can no longer afford to lose you. Here is the life-changing truth. The very moment you stop chasing, you start rising. When you step back, give yourself space and focus on your own well-being, the world finally begins to take notice. And when you take that step back, people will finally begin to understand just how much they overlooked you. Your value will become undeniable. This is your time. This is your life. Reclaim it. In that sacred space you create, growth happens. You grow by reclaiming your energy and focusing on your needs. And they grow by finally learning to appreciate you in ways they never, ever did before.